started probably.
Okay, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to Good Measure. My name is David, and I'll be your host today. Today, we have Kenta Yasukawa, co-founder and CTO at Soracom Inc. He's here today to talk with us about Soracom, MVNOs, and all things new tech. Kenta, thank you for being here with us today. Do you mind quickly introducing yourself to those in the audience who may not be familiar with you and your work with Soracom?
Sure. Hi. First of all, thank you so much for having me, David. I'm super excited being on the show. And everybody, my name is Kenta Yasukawa. I'm CTO and co-founder of the company Soracom. We have offered the IoT connectivity platform so that the devices in the any kind of devices like connected home devices, cars, sensors, actuators, industry, factories, they can have machines and devices connected back to cloud so that they can leverage the cloud infrastructure to run AI and machine learning logic and all the intelligence in the cloud in the
Mhm.
field.
All right. And so let's get started. So these days, with all the eyes that are focused on sort of AI, machine learning, and blockchain, what is the importance of IoT technology, and how does it and what is the importance of connecting devices to the cloud?
That's a great question. So AI and machine learning, provide and build, make us, build a brain in the
Mhm.
cloud. So,
Yeah.
by collecting data, you can actually build the intelligent engine in the cloud
Mhm.
to process data. But just by having brain, cannot do much. You have to
Mhm.
have hands and legs to interact with the real world.
Mhm.
So IoT, Internet of Things technology and connected devices give
Mhm.
AI and machine learning logics hands and legs
Yeah.
to interact with the real field. That's why
Mhm.
it's important. And that's why instead of just connecting devices to the internet, it's
Mhm.
important to connect those devices in the field to cloud environment so that
Mhm.
the people who have great ideas of leveraging AI and machine learning or any kind of new technologies can
Mhm.
use the connected devices in the field from cloud.
Mhm. And so when companies who are looking for an IoT platform to use, they consider many things like reliability, security, efficiency, and scalability. And so how does Soracom utilize AWS cloud services in order to offer reliable and scalable platforms?
That's a great question too. If I share my background a little bit more, I used to work as a solutions architect at AWS, Amazon Web Services. And
Mhm.
before joining Amazon, I was a researcher at Ericsson working on connected home, connected car type projects.
Mhm.
So one day I started to think by building a connectivity platform on cloud environment like AWS and build a highly scalable and reliable infrastructure for connected devices, we should be able to enable more devices to connect to cloud and leverage, make people build reliable systems on top.
Mhm.
So that was the reason we started our company back in 2015 and started to offer services.
Mhm.
And as a former AWS solutions architect, we reinvented cellular core network on top of AWS,
Mhm.
applying all the best practices we have learned from different systems and architectures.
Mhm.
So, for example, we carefully designed our infrastructure, the cellular core network,
Mhm.
to be horizontally scalable, and it
Mhm.
has a built-in resilience. What it means is that, let's say we have more and more devices connected
Mhm.
onto our platform, we need to scale out our infrastructure. We can
Mhm.
do that because we can add more cloud resources such as
Mhm.
server instance or containers and
Mhm.
also dialing up database capacity.
Mhm.
AWS offers all these tools for us to build secure, scalable infrastructure. We utilize all of them.
Mhm.
And also, since everything can fail,
Yeah.
the AWS backend, it also has
Mhm.
underlying hardware. So we see issues like, hardware malfunctions and fails.
Mhm.
And we actually use AWS capabilities to make sure that kind of failure can be mitigated. Like,
Mhm.
for example, in case one instance or container just fails to
Mhm.
run,
Yeah.
it automatically is replaced by a new one. and our system can keep going. So we have done all these design and have been offering secure and reliable and scalable infrastructure for our customers. We designed this system back in 2015, and at that time, of course, our user base was small. And we today, 2022, we have connected more than 4 million devices on our platform, and we have been proving that our architecture is scaling to cover more and more devices.
And so speaking about containerized applications, with the IoT industry sort of picking up steam and gaining a lot more relevance with so much new smart home technologies being built, what are your thoughts on the increased need and use of containerized applications? Would this benefit a company like Soracom that's integrated IoT SIM card technology with the AWS data cloud?
Yeah, definitely container technology is helping us to build a scalable and reliable infrastructure. As I said, we have been leveraging container technology in our backend, so we can actually run the containerized application, and anytime it fails, we can replace. Anytime we need more capacity, we can just run more containers and increase our capacity. So that's definitely helping. We've been running our infrastructure on AWS, so we haven't actually used that technology to span our infrastructure over multiple clouds yet, but certainly container technology can help that too. And also, since we are talking about container plus IoT, there are some interesting things that I wanted to share. Container technology was evolving in the cloud side, but we also see container technologies used in IoT devices as well. We have a partner called Balena. They have built a solution to run a container, a Docker container on Raspberry Pi and NVIDIA Jetson, like those IoT edge devices, so that developers can run containerized application on the edge IoT devices. Excuse me. And also we have met a company called TIOT. They are a Danish company. They have built a solution to run containerized application on a microcontroller like ESP32 boards. So definitely containerized applications and that concept of container is evolving in IoT space as well.
And so we spoke on this a bit earlier, but what are your thoughts on the increased use of AI and machine learning and technology? And do you think that like it has a very big future in IoT technologies when it comes to sort of streamlining repetitive tasks and sort of simplifying the workflow for everybody?
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned earlier, AI and machine learning technologies provide brains, and brains need hands and legs to interact with the real world. And eventually, the technology is to make our lives better, so to make the world a better place. So definitely, the AI and machine learning will help streamline our repetitive tasks in the daily life by leveraging the connected devices like sensors and actuators and so on. So that's how I see it. We have actually seen that in our customers' case studies as well. So we have a customer in North America called Hotel. They have built precision agriculture solution, and they have been using cloud-based AI logic to optimize the irrigation system in the farming field. So they actually sense data from the field, and they run the machine learning AI logic in the back end and sends command back to those irrigation systems to optimize the water usage, for example. We have seen a customer called SourceNext who built the Pocket Translator. I actually have one here. Here it is. This tiny Pocket Translator, you can actually just talk to this in your preferred language, and it speaks out in a different language. They use a cloud-based translation engine, so they need a connection to the cloud when it translates what you say. So they are using the this is in a way the it's not eyes. Well, actually, they started to implement a camera, so it has eyes and the ears and mouth for the AI to speak in a way. We have a customer called Group X in Japan. They have built a pet robot. I wanted to have one and show it to you, but the that pet robot, you can actually walk. It actually walks around you, and you
Hmm.
can interact with it, and
Oh,
they actually react to what you do.
is it like one of those things? Is it like one of those like white robots that has like a screen on it, and it's like the ones that Hyundai or something like that. It
Oh
was at
yeah,
one of those
actually.
massive car companies, right? And it just like goes around and follows people.
Oh yeah, so it's a different one. They what they have built was robot called Labot,
Mhm,
Lobot. So it looks like a fluffy toy with
mhm,
unique eyes, and their move are actually the optimized for you, and when depending on what how you interact with the pets, they
mhm.
actually react differently. They use
Oh.
AI logic and the machine learning for that.
Mhm. All right. And so, as IoT platforms begin to utilize networks such as 3G, 4G, LT, and even Cat M1 to cover broader spaces such as cities, do you think that this could cause cities to see an increase in safety as IoT technologies are being implemented in public settings for security and safety purposes?
Yes, definitely. We have seen, IoT devices and technology have contributed to build our cities, or our public facilities smarter and safer. We have a customer called OmniFlow. They are based in Europe. They have a connected street light solution.
Mhm,
There's a customer called Intelligence Design in Japan. They have run a solution to monitor how busy each street is.
mhm,
In Tokyo, the streets are
yeah,
so busy and it has always has traffic. So they
mhm,
use that data to reduce traffic
mhm,
congestion. Japan Railway East, they are the railway company. They have built a solution using our AI edge camera solution to
mhm,
monitor how busy shops at shopping mall are,
yeah.
to help the people maintain social distancing and avoid COVID infection. So it's
Mhm,
a kind of timely use case they've been applying AI technologies for.
mhm. Could you speak to a bit and tell the audience a bit about the Soracom SIM technology? That was the thing that probably interested me a lot.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So we have I talked about the multiple customer stories.
Hmm.
The one thing that is common is they are connected to cloud by using cellular technology. So
Hmm.
like for example, this Pocket Translator, it has our embedded SIM inside. So
Hmm.
there's a small tiny chip that works as a SIM card, and
Hmm.
whenever the this device is turned on, it actually talks to local cell tower. And like for example, in the States, we have supported AT&T and T-Mobile. So it talks to local cell tower, and it will connect to our network components inside AWS, and it
Hmm.
connects to the cloud environment. So one thing that makes our setup unique is that by using our SIM card or SIM chip, the connection will come straight to our environment in the cloud.
Hmm.
No, it actually doesn't go through the internet to reach
Hmm.
out to Soracom backend. So we have a secure environment for the device to communicate with Soracom platform. And
Hmm.
if they want to route the traffic to the internet, they can do that. Or if they want to stay the traffic within the
Hmm.
protected environment when interact with your backend server, we can actually the customers can actually do uh, set up that environment by using our API or web console. So we have that kind of IoT optimized cellular network that we are offering.
And so, is that kind of what separates Soracom from many MNO service providers who sort of direct their clouds to the internet? And is this what sort of incentivizes companies to choose Soracom as an IoT provider?
Yes, that's definitely one thing that differentiates us from the simple pure internet connectivity provider. So we can definitely offer internet connection, but often when you build an IoT system, the security is a top concern,
Hmm.
and you need to offer secure environment for your devices and your server backends to talk to each other.
Hmm.
So we have a technology to create private network for customers' device and customer servers. That's one thing we offer. We also have integration to cloud services. Like
Hmm.
for example, nowadays when we discuss with people who are building IoT system, they often think about using cloud services like AWS, Microsoft, and
Mhm.
Google. So when it comes to smartphones, it's easy to talk to those cloud services. But when it
Mhm.
comes to small, tiny sensors and actuators, it's already a heavy lifting to
Mhm.
encrypt all the data and do authentication and send data to cloud service endpoint. So we have a feature to receive data from devices, and we can authenticate each device because we issue cellular SIM kind of cellular SIM chips.
Mhm.
So we authenticate those client and apply customer provided configuration
Mhm.
and call Cloud API on behalf of the devices. By doing that, devices don't have to have credentials or don't have to do end-to-end encryption by themselves. So we can offload all this heavy lifting onto our platform, and we can take care of the rest of the heavy lifting.
Right.
So those IoT optimized features are based on all the customer feedback
Mhm.
and learning from our experience with many customers and partners. So that differentiates us from pure connectivity
Mhm.
providers.
And so moving a bit further, a bit away from IoT now,
Mhm.
um, if an up and coming software developer wants to come and work at a company such as Soracom, is there a reason or is there a necessity for them to come in to have mastered a certain set of languages, or what would you recommend someone do if they want to come and try to work at Soracom?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I also I started my career as a researcher, and I worked as a developer at the AWS database service, and
Mhm.
then started Soracom. So definitely programming and coding was part of my career, and the definitely helps to be fluent in one programming language or
Mhm.
framework, and so that you can be productive by using your favorite language. That
Mhm.
actually makes you um, think about all the details and background about the
Mhm.
programming language itself. So if you once you learn the one language deep enough, I, th-
Mhm.
I think you will understand the concept behind the language, like computer science
Mhm.
algorithms and theories. And once you reach that point, you can actually, understand the other languages and framework
Mhm.
very easily. So I think it's if you have a favorite programming language,
Mhm.
I recommend to go deep in that one
Mhm.
and learn the some behind the scene theories and algorithms, and then you will be able to use any language and build anything. So
Mhm.
that's what I would recommend.
Mhm.
And definitely, if you love coding and developing, and
Mhm.
you want to use that skill to develop future
Mhm.
IoT platform, we are welcome, and
Mhm.
we welcome you, and we like to talk with you.
And so, on the topic of sort of learning coding, if you were to relearn coding now in a day and age where technology is available to everybody and there's so much resources like on the internet, like a Coursera course or just even a YouTube video, how would you go about relearning coding if you just knew nothing, but you knew of the experiences that you went through?
I Well, how to learn new things depends on people's preference and the strengths. But
Mhm.
I myself learn things by putting my hands onto things. So
Mhm.
when it comes to coding, of course, the basic things you can learn from those online lectures. There's great materials out there.
Mhm.
But once you get the basics, I would encourage everyone to actually write code and build something.
Mhm.
It can be something very simple, but if you write the code and run it, and if it works, that's
Mhm.
the joy that most programmers always enjoy. So I would recommend to have that experience as
Mhm.
soon as possible when you start to learn, and then you can actually make it more complicated and more complicated later on.
Mhm. All right. And so just one last question. How much sleep do you get and how do you maintain a balanced life and how do you make sure that you're not always too stressed out even when there are things that are very important that are going on?
That's a good question. So I'm a founder of a startup, and also at the same time, I'm a father of three boys. So yes, having time to rest and time to sleep is sometimes, challenging. But I don't normally kind of push myself too much, and I don't do like, well, I work 24 hours and never
Mhm.
sleep. I don't do that. I rather try to have decent sleep and time with my family, even if I'm busy. And the when it comes to the actual work, some portion of work is sometimes it's stressful and you need to actually really spend your energy on. But many parts of my work with my team, I really enjoy it, and I don't feel like I'm kind of spending energy. I'm rather enjoying it and
Mhm.
learning more new things and building new features with the team, and talking to customers and hearing they enjoy what features that the features that we offer. That's rather giving me energy, so I can keep over going with energy all the time because of that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, David. I enjoyed chatting with you. Appreciated all the questions.
All right. Thank you.